Hello. This is the 191st Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2224, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast. Before we start, Simon, what's all this stuff on your desk?
Right. All this, I got this. I don't know if this is coming off tonight. So all this stuff is, I was away the last few days, and I just got back an hour ago. So, I needed to get stuff out of my bag, put it here on my desk, but I haven't had yet time to put it away.
But what is it?
Okay, for our listeners, yeah?
Yes, they can't see it.
So sure, here, check it out. Nice can of beer.
Sounds
nice and frosty.
Sounds and feels solid and is even cold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Keeps itself cold.
Oh.
Pretty nice. Then here, check this out.
So yeah, this I don't know what this is.
Oh, okay, that's that. Then here's something a bit similar maybe. See?
Huh.
One of those.
That I also don't know what they are.
No? Okay, well those, I can tell you, those are like early prototype ore drones.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, look how big they are. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like by now, they're microscopic, but this is how.
But how do you use them?
Check this out. You put them in your ear like
that. You put them in your ear?
Put them in your ear. Which, I mean, okay, the ore drones are for, translating stuff, so it makes sense, like in an old-fashioned way to have them in your ear. It just seems so, odd now.
To have to put them in and out, not have them in your
Exactly.
skull.
You see this case, it even charges them, because they have batteries.
What?
Exactly, they don't get their power out of your body.
Uh-huh.
So that's pretty odd. And check this out then.
And the other thing you just showed, the little yellow...
This one.
Yeah. So is that also, because that's kind of like empty, no?
Yeah, like it opens the same way, but now I've opened it, it's not anymore. I think it was meant to be air from the 21st century.
Oh.
But I opened it, so... Now it's air from the 23rd.
This is like, for the listeners, there's a little kind of like egg-shaped plastic yellow thing that you can open and close.
Yeah, it's got a hinge on it.
Smells a little chocolatey.
Exactly, and speaking of yellow, check these out.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm. Old-fashioned lenses. And check it out, even they've got, where is it? I saw it earlier.
So there's like pieces of glasses that you put on your face right now.
Yeah, I think they're broken. You see this lens here has got a gap missing. Or maybe it was meant to be that way by design.
But why are they so dark?
I think maybe you're meant to use them in the sunshine or places with bright lights. But also, check this out. Like, they're not around anymore, but do you recognize that company name?
Yeah, Lufthansa.
Yeah, exactly. They used to be flying machines, like way before shuttles, So this must be like a really early version of lenses, maybe for their pilots.
They look really good on you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got all this the last few days, and I haven't had time to
Where'd you get all
put
this
it
stuff?
away yet. I was out and about.
Okay.
It was pretty good.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So that was just a thing that I noticed, and I thought I'd point it out. Because usually your desk is pretty clean.
Yeah, usually I don't have stuff like this piled up, like I say. I mean, I'll tidy it away later. Just didn't have time to before we recorded.
Okay. Because we have something really cool to talk about today.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's about all the different devices that are getting an upgrade right before Solstice.
Exactly. It's upgrade season.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Leading up into Solstice. People want to be getting presents for folks, so all the big tech companies are, how about we release shiny new models for lots of money that people can buy? Because
for the last Solstice, which is only 6 months ago, in the summer, people already got the current models.
Exactly.
So what are we...
They're old news now.
What are we giving each other, 6 months later, already give all the current stuff, so there's new stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So, and of course, this is, how you're saying, upgrade season. So we're...
And we've not... the way this podcast started, it was a tech podcast talking about technology of the future. Sometimes we talk about other things, but we figured, hey, let's bring it back to our roots and, update our listeners on all the latest upgrades to the tech that we've mentioned over the years.
Exactly, and some of the stuff you already know about if you've been carefully listening to every episode, but some of the stuff that we may have mentioned in the past is not up to date anymore because there's been new developments, new improvements, new features. And we thought it would just be fun to point them out. Yeah. So...
the future doesn't stay static, like stuff we mentioned 2 years ago, 3 years ago, has moved on.
Yes, exactly. We are improving upon ourselves. And as a blueprint for the show, we thought we'll just list all the things that we already know about.
Yeah, within each category.
Yeah. You want to kick it off?
I shall. Let's start with lenses.
Yes.
So Olivor released the Olivor 56, which probably you can guess from the numbers. So basically, it's a slightly faster version of the Olivor 55.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier, so considerably more expensive. Sometimes, the price will stay the same. Sometimes it will go up a teeny bit. This time, no. It's a third. So a third again, the price of what it used to be.
Did we mention it was a lens? Did we mention this?
Yeah, this is under lenses.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure.
So, but for our listeners who maybe aren't so familiar with product names, Olivor's the company. Olivor 56 is their latest model of the lens, which is what we all have in our eyes that we can, see this nice computer overlay on the world.
Yeah, and it's slightly faster.
Mm-hmm. Slightly faster, much more expensive.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of starting out a bit low, bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Some of these updates are really good, but this one is a little bit cynical.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the market leader.
Yeah.
That's how they can get away with that.
And maybe they've really have done every possible feature, every possible improvement that they could possibly get.
Mm-hmm. So now
they're just making it slightly faster.
And more expensive, because that's the thing they figure. Who else is, what else are you going to buy? And to that point, Faceplant, they haven't yet released a new model, but there are rumours that they want to get into lenses themselves. And I mean, the obvious name for a product from them would be Face Lens.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just a rumour, but the hope is that if because they're such a big company too, if they come into the market, there'll be some competition. Maybe it drives prices down, or at least maybe it makes product, more exciting.
Yeah, a little bit more innovation.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're saying, it's a rumor, but it's a very strong rumor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
In the last couple of months.
Yeah, and Faceplant, they've been having job advertisements for positions that sound very suspiciously like the kind of positions you'd need if you wanted to make your own lenses.
Yeah, and they were already managing the lens infrastructure. So if they would also get into lens manufacturing, they would bring a real competition to Oliver, because they rely on the network.
Indeed, but then it might flip so suddenly, because as you say, Faceplant, manage the software basically, and so then if Olivor can't rely on that anymore, maybe Faceplant changed the contract, Olivor need to suddenly make their own. They're not really a software company, so then all of a sudden Faceplant are the new, most popular one. Then there's no. So that's being cynical. Hopefully there'll be lots of nice competition between the two.
But it's going to be super exciting anyway, because we have some clear market leaders in some the areas. We have, let's say, several market leaders or just a few bigger companies. But in some of these markets, you have almost a monopoly. And this is the case, for example, with lenses. So it's really, I guess it's a good thing that other companies are trying to get in there. Mm-hmm. I thought what was fun, Congos. So this is a market that has much more companies in there that are making Congos. I mean, it's probably...
There's no one company that's eaten up the whole market.
Yeah, eaten up. Cool. That's a good idea. So Congos are food conglomerators. This is what we use to make food, among many other things, many different companies, many different looks, and they've also already been aligned.
Yeah, different features, different scales, yeah?
Yeah.
You want one for a restaurant, you need to make hundreds of dishes. You want it in your own apartment, 4 at most is fine.
Exactly.
At a time, obviously huge range, but I just mean making them at a time that you can eat at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. In general, for most of these, we've had dedicated episodes about these devices, so if you want to know more details about them. But if you already remember, we mention them regularly. Then
people can take that as a given from now on. We don't need to mention it for each product category.
Yeah.
If they hear something and they want to know more, they can find a previous episode on it.
Definitely.
But then, so the Congos, I think you were about to say about one of
it's actually Gabriel Selassie. So they're not a market leader, but they're a really traditional company. So they've been around for a long time, and they've announced the Brick 5.37. So Brick is their the name of their main line, basically. They have several Congo lines, but the main line is called Brick, and they released the 5.37. And this definitely, as opposed to the lenses, they definitely have a couple of cool new features. And of course, you need a reason to buy something, and just because it's the newest is already reason enough for some people, but for some others to upgrade, you need arguments. What I thought was funny with the Gabriel Selassie, the new Brick 537, the open source recipes. I thought that was pretty cool, that basically, I'm not sure if it's all of them, but a lot of them are open source, that you can basically adjust them, and then everybody's basically working on the same recipes. So you can either adjust existing recipes or make new versions based on existing recipes and so on. And that's a pretty cool feature. And for the first time, a Congo that makes also food for aliens.
Exactly, and that's where the open source recipes comes in.
Yeah,
just because no company had really a good recipe book or collection of recipes for aliens. So this was the most effective way to build up that library.
Yeah, and even it's the first Congo that is certified with the Safe for Aliens label.
Yeah.
So this is a first. I'm sure all the other ones will follow sooner or later, but this is the first one to get this certification.
Yeah.
So you can even select recipes that are safe for aliens.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're safe for humans.
No, that's up to the user to decide.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, not whether it's safe or not, but whether they want to risk it.
Yeah. So I think of everything that's on this list, there's maybe like 2 or 3 things that I'm considering either wanting or giving, and this is definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, I'm sure at work we're going to get them.
Of course, yeah. Right, it's useful when you have folk over, yeah.
Yeah, especially. I mean, we have aliens over all the time. So at the moment, we just had to kind of make do with what we were estimating ourselves to be suitable. Yeah.
Yeah. Next thing we've got here. So from a company called Diver Inc. They've released their new submarine, the Holy Diver.
The Holy Diver.
Holy Diver is what they're calling it. So Brick 5.37, that's not such a... You're into it, you know what that means, but you're not into it, it's not so really catchy as a name. So Holy Diver is the newest submarine from Diver Inc. Their previous model was the Great Diver.
Yeah.
And they do a nice thing where, it's always ending in the word diver, submarines after all, name of the company is Diver. But the adjective is going up alphabetically.
I only figured it out after a while. I just thought, because it was like...
It wasn't clear, maybe the first 2, yeah.
Was it like Amazing Diver? What was the first one called?
Yeah, Amazing, then Brilliant. Cowabungalicious Diver was the first.
That's the one where
that's where you figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why would they choose this?
Cowabungalicious is a bit of a stretch, but it's because apparently there was another product from another company, not a submarine, but it was already called the Cool Diver. Okay, they didn't want to confuse folks, so they went with Cowabungalicious.
That was also the most successful one, right? Because they got a lot of attention with this one.
Did really well for them.
You're trying to remember the rest, right?
Yeah, D,
E, F. I remember Grey Diver.
Maybe we do an episode. We could also, I guess, actually talk about the submarines. Maybe if we do an episode all about them, and then we can also remember all of them and look up their names for that.
Yeah, we didn't actually do an episode on
don't think we have.
Okay. Could be an interesting thing. I thought with the pods, I thought the new AirPod because it's floating.
Yeah. Name explains itself. Yeah. It's a relaxation chamber.
Yeah.
And traditionally, sure, they're standing on the floor, but this new model floats in the air.
Yeah. And it's, of course, with floating, it can float wherever, but it just floats down to you, sort of the getting in level. Yeah. And then it can...
the big advantage is if you have neighbors who like to play loud music that shakes the house around, and your pod, regular pod is based on the floor, you might, even though it's very dampened, you might still feel the vibrations. Hey, with it floating in the air, way less vibrations through the floor.
I also understood that because it's using anti-gravity, that if you're actually in the pod, you don't feel the gravity so much as in the traditional pods. So that's what I understood.
That is interesting. So almost not quite, so not 0G, but low G.
Yeah, exactly. So like normally you get in a pod, most of them have these kind of like you hang forward kind of posture. And these ones apparently it's because they use what do you call it again? Not 0G, but
low. So I said low G, but basically just low gravity.
Yeah, exactly. That's
reduced, I guess.
And it's apparently super extra relaxing. So this is nice. One of the other ones that I'm considering asking for. Are you making notes for Solstice? Are you going to get me a present?
Maybe going to remember some of these.
Okay.
We'll see. What have we got next here? Teleporters. Green Cell, they've released 2 new models actually. The Green Cell Mini, the Green Cell Pro.
Yeah.
Those are their 2 main lines, and they've released new models. They don't bother with numbers or anything. They just they trust what we do. We're a teleporter company. do you want the mini one or the Pro version?
And their basic green cell, they've been around for, I don't know, like it's really solid performing thing. Whenever they have some new features, they release a new model, but they keep, like their basic model is the one that they sell the most, right?
Yeah.
Still the one they sell the most.
Yeah. And right, the newest one, they have included a new feature. It's not just literally a price bump or a software update or whatever. In auto jump is the name of the feature. But I don't actually know what that is yet. Like in the advertising, it's very exciting. People looking really enthusiastic, nice bright lights and sunshine and so on. But I couldn't get from the ad what auto jump actually is.
It's included in both of them, right? In the Mini and in the Pro.
Yeah.
Yes. So what I understand, but also here I'm a little bit unclear because, as you point out, it's not so clear from the advertising.
Right. And
what I understand is that you kind of like program your course. That's how I understand it. So it's not saying, hey,
like your daily routine.
No, maybe kind of like a mini trip. Like say you want to go to Angola. And normally you get in your teleporter, you program a specific location, and then you go there, and then you walk around, whatever you're going to do in Angola. But here you can actually program. So I want to go at 2:00. I want to go to Angola, and at 3:00 I want to go to I don't know, Tajikistan.
Okay, like a playlist basically.
Exactly. So that's how I understood it. But like I'm not sure how it works if you're not actually in the teleporter. So you have to go in there to
you need to be you need to be at a teleporter at the appropriate time. I mean, we're speculating about a product. They probably a feature rather that they probably do explain on their website, but hey, we haven't looked at that. I mean, a way it would make sense is that it's not necessarily the exact time, but rather the next time basically when you finish where you are, you go into the teleporter and it knows, and the next place you want is.
Yeah. Okay. So this actually makes more sense. See, I'm just trying to solve a problem that they've probably already solved. But that's how I understood auto jump. So basically, you program where you're gonna go, and not just for the consecutive destination, but also for the initial one. So you can already say at your breakfast, you can say, hey, I want to go to Angola and then to Tajikistan, and then you're gonna shower or have a coffee, and then you walk into your teleporter, and then you automatically transport there. That's how I understood anyway.
Sure.
You know the Green Cell Mini. So what's mini about it?
I mean, it is ever so slightly smaller, but since you need to fit in it as a person, I think really the advantage is if you have a very small apartment, it's not quite as tall. So that's not great for tall people. You have to crouch down if you get in it, but it's good for places which have low ceilings.
Yeah, because that's also what I thought. Like, the Green Cell Mini, like maybe it's like you have to hunch, or
if you're tall, like you're pretty tall, so maybe you would need to. I think I'm okay. I've not needed to hunch when I've ever gotten in one.
Because it's not super tiny, right? It's just
not like child size, but also like I said. So I mean, the Green Cell Pro, for example, that's intended for businesses, so that's a bit clearer. They are larger capacity usually, that you don't have to go like one by one into the office.
Or maybe the Green Cell Mini is basically just the basic Green Cell with this auto jump feature, and they just wanted to give it a different name, and because it's smaller, slightly.
It does look cuter.
It's true.
The styling of it. Then, I mean, we didn't. So another really nice feature.
Are they have more?
Yeah, so they do. They went all out. They got 2 new features this year, or this half year. New minty fresh breath.
I didn't hear about this. What is that?
So it's the option. It's an option. Like you don't have to do it, but basically you're teleporting somewhere. You didn't have time to brush your teeth. When you get there, hey, they've reconstituted you. We'll give you some minty fresh breath.
This would also really work well with the auto jump. It's like, man, I just want to brush my teeth. No, don't worry. Just walk in there. You're automatically transported. You get there. You have.
Yeah. So that's really, and so the only issue was, at least in some of the very first models that people were buying, they found that they would, say, yep, give me the minty fresh breath, and then actually there was a bug of some kind and they got garlic breath instead, which sometimes is fine, but especially if you were relying on having minty fresh breath, then it's not so good. But that's been fixed already. That was just they fixed that within the first day.
Yeah, okay, it's just an update.
Yeah.
But I mean, those are just initial. I think several of these features that we've been discussing, they will probably have some initial, illnesses.
Sure, there'll be some issues or
bugs.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Green Cell Mini being ever so slightly smaller as the basic model. Yeah. Did you see the new holodeck pill?
That's the whole other extreme. That's so tiny, it's the size of a pill. That's pretty next level.
That's just for the listeners. The holodeck is usually kind of like a small a table or a crate kind of thing you put in your room, and it changes how your room looks. Basically, it can even make it change into a rainforest or whatever.
Yeah, associated sound effects.
Yeah, exactly. You switch it on or off, and then your room is back to normal. And you switch it on, it's basically just you, and everything else has changed. This is basically the holodeck, but this is like a table size normally, and this is already hard to find after your room has transformed. So if it's a rainforest, the holodeck itself has also transformed.
Right. It's disguised as a boulder with some moss on it or something.
Yeah,
like that.
exactly, or like a tree trunk or something like that. And this is really hard, like if you want to switch it back, to find the button to switch everything back. So now they have the holodeck pill, which is super useful because you can carry it in your pocket or whatever. You can go anywhere to any room, take out your pill and have it change the room. This is...
Even comes with a lanyard. You can wear it around your neck. You know, like a medallion. And that way you really don't lose track of it. So it depends what you're doing in the holodeck. If you're doing something where, having a medallion around your neck would be a problem, okay, then you hang it up on a tree branch or whatever. But if you're just walking around or whatever, it's pretty handy to have it on you.
Okay, see, now it's less dumb.
Okay. You were wondering who would
you put a pill on your floor, you press the button, and then the whole room changes to a rainforest. Now, good luck finding it again.
Sure. No, that way it doesn't work so well. Like I mentioned, it comes with a lanyard, so either around your neck, or you can hang it off of something up high that it's more, it's easier to spot.
Okay, so now it sounds actually like a good idea. Looks like somebody put some thought into this.
Yeah.
Okay, real portable holodeck.
Yeah. There's the Yunkin bee. You heard of the Yunkin bee?
I heard of the Yunkin. I didn't hear about the Yunkin B.
Right. I mean, I guess the first one must have been the Yunkin A, but okay, they just called it the Yunkin.
Yeah.
And the sequel or the next edition is the Yunkin B.
So was anybody asking for this?
Nope. I've never even used one. Don't even know what they do really.
I used to have one.
Yeah.
Maybe I still have it actually.
Did you ever use it?
I mean, like the first day all the time, and a couple of times the week after, and then sometimes when friends were over, and then at one point I forgot that I had it.
Yeah.
Now I remember that I had it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
good for them and good for their customers.
Yes. Maybe we definitely have to at least mention the Hoverlord Ultimate.
Yeah.
So.
That's the new hoverboard, yeah?
Yes, the new hoverboard, yeah. And this is actually really cool. So it's released by VVF, so Volkswagen FinFast. And just how this looks, this is one amazing looking hoverboard. I mean, I can understand why they called it the Hoverlord Ultimate.
Yeah, super deluxe. Even has built-in foot massagers. You're going for a long hoverboard ride, I guess you'd call it. Long session of hoverboarding.
Yeah.
If you get a bit tired, they can be massaged while you go.
It also has sound effects. And these are some real retro sound effects where usually it just glides noiselessly, but now you can have different sound effects activated, and then you can be like really old-fashioned motorized vehicle going
like actual. I guess it would be strange that they're in the sky or in the air at least, but sure, you can sound like a car.
Yep.
An old-fashioned car.
Yep, exactly. And there are that's the one that they used in the commercials.
Oh, that must be fun if you're at a hoverboard park where you're going up on ramps and so on. They can make like skidding noises maybe when you go around corners. Do some drifting.
Maybe they have open source sound effects. You can add ones of your own.
Maybe if they're not doing the mean thing of having to pay for ringtones.
Oh yeah, possibly. Maybe they have that. Maybe that's a model. But I mean, the thing is, like even if you use the foot massaging and even if you don't use the sound effects, the thing just looks how it's curved, and they have like 3 different colors. One is like black purple, one is like black red. I can't remember what the third color is, anyway, just standing on that and floating on that through the sky, wow, I just for that would already be enough as an argument. Any other devices that you know that are getting a
The one other that's coming to mind, so BackRubbots.
Oh, yeah.
Those back-rubbing robots that everyone loves to fall asleep, not with, but having your back stroked, basically, while you fall asleep. So at the moment, there's two main companies, so Ribnit 7 and Green Cell, though we mentioned them earlier as a teleport company, they're putting a lot of effort into entering the market of back robots.
Apparently there's good money in there.
Yeah. But because Green Cell have come in, their initial approach was simply to undercut Ribnit 7.
Yeah.
So their models are very similar, or at least initially their models were very similar, and then there was a price war. But now what's interesting, because that's a bit boring really, at least for us, to talk about. What's interesting is instead they've come up with some new designs. And
Green Cell or the Ribnit 7?
Well, both. And I think, let me just describe the designs and then I'll speculate what's going on. So because Ribnit's one looks like a frog, like a bit relatively large frog, and as you're falling asleep, it's like hopping around, jumping around on your back. And Green Cell's looks like a large lily pad that you kind of lay on your back, a bit like just a cover, but then it slowly undulates and like massages you, strokes your back as you're falling asleep. So some speculation here, yeah, because it's kind of a coincidence. So these aren't companies that work together, they don't do collaborations. But these seem pretty related, yeah, frog, lily pad. So my speculation is there was some industrial espionage from one to the other way around, who knows. Basically, they heard, something frog related. So maybe one, the lily pad came first and the other Green Cell, went with a lily pad, and people just heard, they're doing something, lily pad,
something with ponds or...
Exactly, ponds, water-based, Basically, there was there was industrial espionage and misunderstanding, and that's why, there's a frog one and a lily pad one, because that seems more likely, like I say, to their competitors, because the other way is it's actually a collaboration as a way to encourage people to buy both.
Oh.
Because you want to have both, that when you're not using them, the frog can sit on the lily pad.
Oh, because they're like matching.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And so maybe we'll find out one day. At the moment, it's not clear, why did they come out with these models after so long of basically not having anything so unique.
Yeah, and especially after all these price wars, like we have the same stuff, just cheaper. No, we have the same stuff and stuff is cheaper. Yeah. Okay. I think I like both of your scenarios where it's just bad espionage or secret collaboration.
Yeah.
Both are things that we like in this podcast.
They both lead to interesting products.
Yes,
at least in this case.
And potentially to interesting future episodes.
Yeah, that's true. I think that, so at least for me, that's it for me for upgrades to tech. You got any yourself?
No, but just purely out of interest, any of these on the list that you would say this is something that I would love to get for
just you're not asking for any particular reason. Nope. You're just wondering. No. So the frog, the Ribnit 7 frog back robot, that's right up my alley.
Okay, cool. We've been going on for a while. I was thinking maybe we move the listener question to next week.
It's a good idea. And so sure, let's wrap things up. Listeners of our podcast 200 years in the past, please send an email to michaellasagna5@gmail.com. Put the number 191 in the subject line. That way we'll know that this episode successfully went back in time. And if you ask us a question, we will totally not put it off to another episode. We'll answer it as soon as we can.
Yes. Okay. Then I would say thanks for listening and see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.